Hey everybody, it's Dave Juno, Meniere's Disease Warrior here. How you doing? Listen, if you like what you see, please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. I don't make a dime from it, but it tells me that people are actually watching my stuff and paying attention. And it actually shows me that I'm actually reaching people and helping. So, on that note, let's talk about something that is a trigger for basically everybody. And I put out a video the other day about triggers and learning them. You know, salt is a trigger, alcohol is a trigger, coffee can be a trigger. All these different things can be triggers. Okay, but not everybody has the same triggers. Okay, now coffee doesn't bother me that much. Salt doesn't bother me that much either. So, you know, depending upon where I order the pizza, I usually make my own because I know it's low salt. But if my kids get Domino's and I'm really that hungry, yeah, Domino's for some reason triggers me. But let's talk about the one trigger that probably all of us have, okay? And, you know, I'll wait to see if you can figure it out. I'm waiting, just waiting. Dum 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 da 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 dum 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 dum. It's stress. Okay, stress is the trigger for all of us, or most of us. Okay, stress can make us Meniere's go crazy, and I know I've been there. Okay, I've been there. A lot of people can remember I worked for about 2 years, 3 years with Meniere's, not knowing I had Meniere's, not being diagnosed with Meniere's, but I worked those 3 years. And man, I'll tell you, those 3 years were the worst 3 years I ever had, the 30 years I worked for this company, because of the stress. They put me in a situation where it was a busy territory. My phone was ringing all day long from my boss and customers and my wife and this and that, and just be stressed out and end up having attacks at work and this and that. And it got to the point where now I couldn't work anymore. And then once I stopped working, I was still getting stressed. I was still getting that, leave me alone. And I had to literally go through therapy for about a year and a half. And I had to learn to change the way I think, okay? That was one of the things I learned through all that therapy, is change the way I think. Think more positive than negative. Now when situations arise, I'm not yelling, I'm not screaming, I'm not reacting. I'm calm, and I'm thinking, okay, well, could be this. Like my wife the other day, I don't know how she did it, but she scuffed the whole side of the car. 4 years ago, I would have what the hell is wrong with you? You're never driving again, blah, 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 blah. And this time I just kind of looked at it and went, well, all right, well, we can buff it out. Let's see what happens. Car's 7 years old, 8 years old. Was it 7? Yeah, 7 years old. I ain't gonna worry about it. But, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I would have been flipping out. And she was shocked. I said, it's because I changed the way I think. That can be fixed. You can't. Okay? The car can be replaced. You can't. So it's one of those things is if you change the way you're thinking, the stress isn't creeping up on you. Okay? So if you think positive, more positive, stress, that's one way for you to help yourself not get stressed. Because there's stress everywhere. Between COVID, the pandemic, all kinds of stuff. Politics, vaccines, this, that, and the other thing, and now monkeypox and all the crap you see on the news. And then, in Facebook world, you've got people who are left and right, and I know I use the opposite hands, but I don't care. And you see these battles on Facebook all day long, and blah, 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 and you can get stressed out. and something happens in the house, and all these things build up. So, you know, really change the way you're thinking. Facebook, and I'm not talking about support groups. I'm talking Facebook in general. Facebook in general, not support groups, is basically fantasy land. I don't get stressed out over that stuff anymore because there's too many keyboard warriors out there. Okay, where they'll type whatever they want on a computer or on the phone, but they wouldn't say that to your face. Even if you ran into them 2 minutes later, they wouldn't say that to your face. They'd be like, "Hey, how you doing?" So yeah, what's on Facebook, I don't, whatever. I don't care. People. I mean, there are things that people do post that are people need to know or something like that. But I'm talking about the political bull crap that people get all upset about. You know, no, that was another stress it took away. It used to bother me, and I'm like, whatever. I don't care. I'm living a life. I'm dealing with a chronic illness every single day. We all are. I got more important things to worry about than whether you got a COVID vaccine or wear a mask or monkeypox or whatever else is going on. I got more important things. It's just the way it is. So if you could change that way of thinking, you won't be reacting as much. You won't be getting stressed as much. Hyped up, and your attacks will go down. I've noticed that my attacks have gone down. Now, do I get into flares? Oh yeah, I do. Pollen. The pollen that we had beginning of the month, that was killing me. And then, well, I had COVID on top of it. But yeah, I mean, there are things, we're just dealing with too much ourselves that we have to deal with other things. So get that stress out. And one of the things, people do is they read to relieve stress. Needlepoint knitting. My wife knits. She reads books, listens to classical music to calm her down, which is, I don't know, I call it chamber music. It isn't the classical music I've listened to. But it makes her happy and it calms her down and it takes that stress away from her. I like to go fishing, okay? But I can't always go fishing because I have Meniere's. So that's okay. I find other ways to relax. And one of the things I do is when I get really stressed out, okay, I shut everything off. Computers, phones, tablets, the house phone. I even do, see that gray box up there? That's my doorbell. And it flashes. So, because I can't hear it all the time, it flashes. So I know when someone's at the door, I shut it off. Everything gets shut off. And I go lie on a couch with my good ear down like this. I don't hear anything but the tinnitus that's going on in my head. And I pray. I pray to God. And I meditate. And you know what ends up happening? I end up falling asleep. An hour later, I wake up. I'm fine. Everything's good again. That's just my way of relieving the stress now. Because I can't just take off and go fishing whenever I want. I can't just go for a walk whenever I want. Because I don't always feel, balanced enough to go for a walk. And plus my dog Kara, who you've seen on my videos, had surgery yesterday. She was spaded. So we can't leave her alone for a couple of days. So, I found that happy medium to help me relax. And it works. And I sleep better at night, even though I do have insomnia from time to time, but I do sleep better at night. Even my family members notice I'm a happier person. And all that had to do with change the way I think. I could be a miserable prick, but I'd be stressing myself out the whole time. What are you gonna do? It's like, I think I've said the story before. My father's brother Joe, my Uncle Joe, World War II prisoner of war. I was born in '66. That was 20 years before. So my memory of him is I knew about him being in World War II and being a prisoner of war, but he never talked about it, and that's fine. And this guy had every reason in the world to be a bitter man, because the Germans beat the crap out of him. The Nazis beat the crap out of him. But you know what? I don't ever remember that man without a smile on his face. He was always happy. Even when I used to play my little tricks, like putting Pledge on the floor and watching him slide across my kitchen and laughing as a kid, and he'd be laughing. My father and my mother would be ready to kill me. As a matter of fact, my father would take the belt off, be ready to kill me, but he'd be going, Mike, no, don't do it. It's funny. He thought it was funny. He did, and I know I hurt his back, but he thought it was funny. I never saw him without a smile. Even like I saw him the day before he had surgery, and he died having surgery, and during surgery. I saw him the day before. He was smiling. He was happy as a clam. Just never saw him without a smile. So I use that as inspiration for me to change the way I think now. Instead of what I should have been doing my whole life, I started doing. So now I use him as inspiration because, let's face it, we're all alive. No matter how dizzy we are, or vertigo we have, or tinnitus, or deafness, we're still experiencing life. And there are people in this world that you don't think would want us in their world. Believe me, they do. They just don't know how to say it. So on that note, I'm going to let go. I hope everybody has a spin-free weekend. Happy Father's Day to everybody out there who's a father. God bless you all, because we do take a lot of crap sometimes as being dads. So happy Father's Day to everybody. And if you're in Massachusetts today, happy Bunker Hill Day. Today was the day that the British and the revolutionaries fought on Breed's Hill, but they were supposed to fight on Bunker Hill. They got mixed up, so it was actually the Breed's Hill where they fought, but it's still called the Battle of Bunker Hill. So on that note, it was the second battle in the American Revolution. And it was fought in Boston. So happy Bunker Hill Day to everybody, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.